Oh my god, here we go. Shadowstar has officially become a weeb. Yeah, that is probably you after seeing the title of this video and seeing this gameplay right here. But I implore you to just listen to what I'm gonna say about this game and what I thought is pretty good and what is pretty bad about it. And yeah, first of all, I'm just gonna say I love this game. It's amazing. I'm saying this because I don't want to waste your time too much, but if you want to listen to me rambling on about what I like about this game so much and why I think it's great, then please continue watching. Okay, let's get to the elephant in the room, which is the style of the game. And it's very like this anime style, and it's very off-putting to some of the Western audience. I understand this. I was also quite off-put by the style. I was like, oh my god, there's cat girls, there's these little Lalafell children looking like characters, there's bunny girls, fucking lion characters and such. I was like, nah dude, this is weird. And look at me now, I'm actually playing a cat girl here, as you can see. Because I just did it for the memes. But yeah, I was off-put by the style because I just really saw the style. I wasn't even really looking at gameplay before when I heard about this game. Like proper gameplay like you're seeing here. And I was like, nah, what the hell is this style? So I decided to just put the style to the side for a moment and just look at the gameplay here. And the first thing that comes to mind, it is very similar looking to World of Warcraft, for example. You have your hotbars, your abilities, the level, the party setup and everything pretty close to what World of Warcraft is like. So of course, as someone who likes World of Warcraft, I was immediately drawn to that. I learned that the game had this free trial up to level 60, including the first expansion, Heavensward. So I decided to just go in and give this game a fair try, at the very least. So yeah, I created my cat girl and I made her a gladiator with the objective to become a paladin later. Because here's also the thing about how classes work. Like if you think traditionally World of Warcraft classes, you can have every class on one character in theory. Because how it works in this game is you create your character and use the job, the class you want to start out with. For me it was the gladiator. At level 30 I can advance to paladin, which you should actually be doing with your gladiator. Because you're basically losing out on more abilities and skills and such. Now paladin is a dedicated tank class in a sense. So I am tanking most of the time, and if I were to get bored of tanking, I could decide to go start leveling a new job, a new class. So for example, I could go learn pugilist, so I could become a monk later on, which is a dedicated DPS class, for example. Or I could become one of the classes becomes a healer. So this solves the problem with one class having multiple like subclasses. Like you could, for example, in World of Warcraft, I'm playing TBC Classic, you have the shaman who can be a melee DPS, a caster DPS, or a healer. And you basically don't have this at all in Final Fantasy XIV. And instead you have to level another class. For example, if you were a tank but you want to go DPS, you gotta level up the new DPS class you want to DPS with. And to my understanding, all this can be done on one character without restriction. And of course, you can only be one class at a time at the current moment. Also, as a side note, races have no difference except for a visual one, and every race can be every class, so there you go. Yes, this means you can be a Lalafell Dark Knight. The game also has a main story, which basically seems very familiar to those who play the single player Final Fantasy games. I have only managed to play through the original game story, which is Realm Reborn, which is the base game, but I really liked it so far, and I have heard that Realm Reborn is just the weakest part of the story. So I'm really curious to see what the story is gonna be like moving onwards to Heavensward and so on. And this is where I see the appeal to people who played the single player Final Fantasy games, because it doesn't stray too far away from a single player Final Fantasy game. Of course, it is still an MMORPG at its core, but you have this story that is very reminiscent of Final Fantasy. And I know some of the Final Fantasy stories because I used to watch my sister-in-law or my aunt play it back in the day. I've seen them play Final Fantasy VII to like 10 or so. I remember playing Final Fantasy VIII for a little bit back in the day. The base of the story is that you are the hero, the warrior of light, who has been sent by a benevolent being, a god, to save the world. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But there's also some background story about what happened to the world and what happened 5 years ago in the game. Basically, if you start the game and let it just wait for a moment, a cutscene will play of like a giant meteor that will destroy the entire place, and a dragon coming out of this meteor. This is a tie-in to the original version of the game. Because from what I have gathered, the original version of Final Fantasy XIV had a really bad reception, and Square Enix just decided to completely remake the game, which in the end became Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. And I just gotta say to this, that is such a ballsy move. Just getting rid of the old game, getting a new engine, remaking everything. That must have cost so much money, so much time in development, and I have a huge respect for that. So with that out the way, I just wanna say that I haven't really dabbled into the real endgame content, like the harder mode version of bosses or something like that. But instead, I just want to talk about the community for a little while. So yeah, first things first. If you have heard a bit of this game, you heard that the community is apparently very friendly, and I had that experience. Yes, it's been... I think I haven't really stumbled upon any toxic players in my time playing so far. But that might still change if I go into like the harder content. Because from what I'm hearing and seeing, this is where the real drama starts. But the community seems to also be very newbie friendly. For example, I once was standing in Limslow Minza, just standing around, just AFK watching videos, stuff like this. As I see two people walk up to me, and one of them gave me a seal pet. And I thought that was a really cute gesture. They probably saw the sprout icon next to me, which means that I'm a new player. And they probably decided to, hey, let's just give that new player a cute little pet. No, that was a pretty nice gesture, I thought. Or generally, if you have some questions, you can find people that are willing to help you out with certain things. For example, where to find a certain item or whatever. Or you can just hang out for a while and see, for example, what the bards are playing and guess what song they're playing and stuff like this. At one point even I found an entire band of catgirls just playing like songs from video games, animes, and some other popular songs such as Through the Fire and Flames. And it's basically just people having a good time. They're like, what is against that, am I right? And this is sort of social content you don't really see in games like World of Warcraft as well. Like, this is amazing. I love this. Where you can just say, fuck it, I'm not gonna level, I'm gonna just hang out for a little while, talk to some people, just have fun a little bit, just socialize. Or once I decided to buy the game actually and subscribe to it, I joined a free company, which is not unlike a guild like in World of Warcraft, for example, where you can join and you can talk to people that are in the guild. And they also were very helpful with certain things. I had questions, for example, once I hit 50, I was like, where can I get, what can I use with the tomestones I can get from doing level 50 dungeons and such. And they told me, yeah, you can get some weapons and armor and such from that, which are the best weapons and armor for A Realm Reborn so far. But I was also told to just keep leveling and just go for the later level 70, level 80 like armors. The free companies, of course, as I said, are like guilds, and they also can be used in order to orchestrate some events like let's do some of the harder mode bosses or something like that. Or you can actually go to their home if they have a home and do some certain things there, just hang out with other guild members and whatever. Besides the free company stuff, you can also do some stuff like going to the gold source and play some mini games, which you have seen gameplay here for a little while, which allows you to unlock certain cosmetic items or emotes and stuff like that. And that has been a little fun side content as well, which also ties into the whole socializing thing that the game has. So I think this is enough of me rambling on about the game, how I thought the game was. I really enjoyed it. I really like the content I have played through so far. Again, I haven't played through actual endgame content, like Shadowbringers content or whatever, but I'm gonna go look and try to get into that kind of stuff, because I saw some of the harder bosses are actually really quite fun. So I might make another video on that later down the line. Stay tuned for that. Name's Shadowstar. And see you in the next one. Bye bye. Oh no! I read it in chat, but I was not expecting this. Holy shit! It's good! What the fuck? It's good!